What's up, Cruise Nation? It's your boy Mo, and today I want to talk about the car scene in Saudi Arabia. It's so complicated that it actually doesn't make a lot of sense, but I'm gonna try my best to give you an idea of how things operate over here. So, if you have a modified car, you can't get it re-registered. So if it was stock, you're all good. Modified, no way. Which causes a lot of issues because, for example, I have an E92 M3, an '08 model, manual, thank God. And when I got it was bone stock, never had issues. And then, got a bit too excited and got in a crash. So I had to make a decision. Do I rebuild the car as is or transform it into something else? So I decided to go with completely transforming it and making it into a track car, which is so exciting. And the car is almost done. We did everything, but we did notice an oil leak, which we have to address ASAP. But and after that, it's just the tune. We already tuned it a few times actually, and people did a horrible job at it because it has the VF Engineering centrifugal supercharger and a lot of other goodies. So anyways, I got to register it and then they came up with some new rules and now I can't. So don't get me wrong, the car is straight piped. Much thanks to Saud, who got me my dream exhaust, which is the Meisterschaft GT House, and it's straight piped. And my neighbors really don't like me for it, but it is what it is. And I have to take it every time I go to a car meet or I want to take it to the track and whatnot. I always have to, trailer the car over there. But that's not the main issue because we live in Saudi, or Riyadh, actually, the capital. So we have to actually take the car to, not have to, but we want to take the car to Bahrain, to the F1 track, which they have open days all the time, which is fantastic. The thing is, the registration is going to expire soon and we're almost done with the car. So that causes a lot of issues, not only to me, but a lot of people. On top of that, for example, I have a 240SX, which I built in the US when I was a student, got it back to Saudi, and same issue as well. It's a drift car, so I can't drive it in the street, of course, which is actually pretty odd from country to country and whatnot, because in Florida, where I used to go to school, I actually used to drive the car to class. No one really cared. And before that, before finishing the Sylvia, I had an 82 BMW E30. Got it. Within a couple of weeks, the engine blew up. And I have to give much thanks to my boy Turk, because the week before it, we deassembled an entire 240SX and the chassis was bent. So he couldn't rebuild it. So he was selling it in parts. And luckily for me, he still had the engine, the SR20 DET, and the transmission. And this is what I love, or I still love about the car culture in the USA. So I lived in Pensacola, Florida, and I just, went on Facebook. We had, the group and whatnot, and I just told them my situation. My car broke down. I have an SR20, I have a 92 BMW, but I have an SR20 DET from a Sylvia, and the transmission. I had no tools or anything. They just asked me two questions: where do you live, and when do you get off of school? So I told them around 6:30 or whatnot, and on the dot, all of them were there. I mean, not all of them there were like hundreds of us, but about 16 different cars parked right in front of my house. And we started working on, and they all brought their own tools. And the beauty of it, there were Corvettes, Civics, every type of car you can imagine, they were there to help. That's the beauty of that community. Unfortunately, it's not the same case here in Saudi, because everyone's trying to prove, we have the best club, we have the best whatnot, and specific cars and all of that. I honestly don't believe that, and that's the motto of Cruise Nation. We have all sorts of cars, BMWs, Mercedes, Mustangs, Camaros, Chargers, actually 2 Chargers. And because you Charger guys are out of this world. To be honest with you, the car is terrifying. So much power. And I actually was shocked that they're using the old E-Class chassis, if I'm not mistaken, on the majority of them, or actually all of them. Correct me if I'm wrong. That being said, so we continued, and actually going back to the 82 BMW E30, within, I think, 3-4 days, we swapped the engine, we dug a hole in my backyard, and like 8 of us came down, pulled the old transmission, and put the Sylvia, the Nissan transmission. It was one of the most beautiful experiences I ever had. And that was my goal when I moved back to Saudi. I got my 2008 E92 M3, and I think for the first modifications were nothing so serious. So I changed the drive shaft into carbon fiber, blah, 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 blah. Now fast forwards 2024, and every time I turn on the car, my neighbors complain, which I completely understand. The car is extremely loud, so I am gonna get valves for it, and it has one of the biggest wings ever. Because what happened? I took the car out and I went about 355 kilometers, and the RPM was still at 6,500. So, did my research, called some people, and I wanted to go up to 370 kilometers. And they told me that, what was the RPM? And I was like, about 6,500. And they told me without missing a beat that like you can easily hit 400 kilometers. But here's what they told me: reduce as much weight as possible. So this seat is actually from my E92 M3. I took it out, put some Recaros. This weighs 65 kilograms. So what I did, took them out and got the Recaros, which weigh 8.5 kilograms. So I immediately took 120 kilograms out of the car. And then I got even more excited. They're like, you have to put the biggest wing you can so you don't fly. And I did that as well. And they will pull you over immediately, just with the wing, even if the car had the stock exhaust. But, so I got even more excited. And I don't know his name, to be honest with you. It's my friend Craig and my friend Jed that got me in touch with this guy. And he is the best BMW tuner in the world, and he's in the US. So we actually did it. The tune was a street tune, and it was more like, it reminded us of Fast and the Furious, and it was fantastic. So it was just freaking amazing. So we were so terrified driving that car, just to tune it. Thankfully, we got everything taken care of, but there was the issue of the Vanos, which any BMW owner knows about. I still don't understand it. I know it's a timing chain, but we got it figured out. Thank you, Mamdour. You helped us out. Thank you. I just have no words to say. So how grateful I am that you helped us fix the timing chain, the Vanos. So we got that taken care of afterwards. So yeah, the car is almost done, but it's summertime here. And don't get me wrong, I changed the entire cooling system in the car. It's from CSF, if I'm not mistaken, and it's fantastic. On top of that, what else did we do? So the carbon fiber drive shaft, the seats. Yeah. No, I actually mentioned the exhaust. Mwah. So the old exhaust, it had to be like 2 or 3 people carrying it. It was so loud. It was so heavy. Sorry. The Meister shaft exhaust, with just 2 fingers, you can pick it up. Titanium. Mwah, fantastic. Installed that, and then we turned on the car, and we were all shocked at how loud it was. Actually, we just turned it on, and then I get a call from my neighbor, please turn off your car, which I did. And actually, one of the funniest stories, my neighbor, as we were street tuning the car, he's like, I'm in my house watching TV with the windows closed, and I can still hear you going back and forth in the neighborhood tuning the car, working on tuning the car. So there was a lot of stages, but one of the why I love this car so much is because from the factory, from BMW, it revs up to 8,200, 300. With this tune, it went up to 8,600, which is Ferrari territory. Oh God, it's beautiful. So I'm gonna go back. I know I went on a tangent about the E92 and how difficult it is to re-register the car and whatnot, which is something we have to do every year in Saudi. So it's been extremely difficult because, for example, as I mentioned, we want to go to Bahrain, but if the car is not registered, I can't get it across the border, which is truly sad. So I actually was talking to my uncle about this in Jeddah. It's the city by the Red Sea, and he's a car guy and a Harley owner as well. He loves working on the cars himself. Actually, that's what motivated me to work on my cars, and he was telling me it's the same issue in Jeddah as well. So I guess it's an issue that's all across the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. That being said, I know the Ministry of Sports, they're doing all they can to find a solution for us car enthusiasts. But the biggest issue is it's not us, because when we actually go out, we don't go crazy or do anything. We like, actually, as you can see, it's CrewZNatioN. So we love cruising. We do some type of event, and then we go out for a cruise. So we continue doing this, but it's terrifying because every now and then you hear of someone that got their car impounded, and you can't get your car back until you take it back to stock. So imagine a fully built car that you have to take back to stock in order to get it out of the impound. That is a bit ridiculous, to be honest with you, but I know the government, the authorities are finding a solution to help us. And if I can do anything to help, I will gladly do anything I can in my power to help the people in charge to make this a reality. But the main issue is not actually us. It's the guys with the Camrys, the Accords and whatnot, the front wheel drive cars that I'm sure everyone knows about, Arab or Saudi drifting, where they just take a normal car and they go up, they go up to 200 kilometers an hour and start going sideways in the car. That actually is extremely dangerous. A lot of people have passed away from it. It's not only, just bystanders or just, they lose control of a car, hit a car with a family, and everyone passes away and whatnot. And it's a complete tragedy. And that's something we do not ever want to be a part of. All we care about is enjoying our cars, and we actually love going to the track. That's what the Ream International Circuit. We love you guys. You guys are simply amazing. So we're gonna, do our best to make life simpler for car enthusiasts. That being said, take care. Have a wonderful day, evening, wherever you are. And it's your boy Mo, and love you guys. Peace.